Young man who made the trip to be here tonight so he could update you on just how his life has progressed over the last year. You might recognize him from the video that was premiered at the event last year. Please welcome Dagm.
Thank you all very much for having me. It is truly a privilege to stand before you all today. This time 2 years ago, I couldn't have imagined being where I am now. May of 2013, I ran away from home. That year, my family had faced many hardships. It was my freshman year of college, and while I was thrilled and filled with enthusiasm, my excitement would come to an abrupt halt. My family had been falling behind on our payments, and I was forced to withdraw at the start of my second semester. I was crushed. I had been doing well in my classes, and I had been active, running on the track team and leading my freshman class as president. But I had to drop everything and return home. I had done all that I could to help my parents, but it still wasn't enough. I had been working to help support my family since I was a freshman in high school. When I was 14, I would go door to door, offering to mow my neighbors' lawns. At the end of every week, I would give whatever I had made to my parents, and that would go towards paying whatever bills we were behind on. Withdrawing from school was very difficult for me. I had mixed emotions, and I struggled dealing with them. I felt it was my fault. I felt that I could have done more to help my parents. I could have worked more. I could have applied for more scholarships, and I could have done better in high school. It was my fault I was back at home, working a minimum wage job, while my friends enjoyed the rest of their semester working towards their futures. I was 18 years old, and I felt that it was time for me to be responsible for myself. My father was 18 when he came to America from Ethiopia, and I believed I was capable of doing the same, so I ran away. Now they would have one less mouth to feed and one less child to worry about. I left with $15 in my pocket and without anywhere to go. I spent nights sleeping on benches and underneath bridges. I went to churches and shelters for food, and I sat outside businesses on Pearl Street for whatever else people were willing to help with. As this became a routine, I became very worried. Nothing frightened me more than the thought of this unhealthy pattern becoming the rest of my life. I had heard of the Source and Attention Homes from other teens I had met around Boulder. Stories of the safe haven for kids who shared my struggles circulated at the feeds and in the park I would hang out at. After spending my first 3 months enduring the elements, I was fortunate enough for a bed to open up, and I would be able to stay there that night. That would prove to be the beginning of a new chapter. By staying at the Source, I was able to focus on finding work and saving up for a place of my own. I had worked diligently, applying for jobs and meeting with business owners. The Source helped me refine my resume and find businesses that were hiring. Soon I was being offered jobs at restaurants I had once sat outside of asking for leftovers. I worked tirelessly, stocking overnight at our local Target, working midday shifts, serving at Reuben's Burger Bistro, and bouncing back and forth between lifeguarding and working the front desk at our Colorado Athletic Club. The staff at the Source also helped me look for apartments and prepared me for my transition to life in the real world. Attention Homes gave me a second chance. They reminded me that I was capable of everything I wanted out of my life. They helped me reconcile with my family and rebuild my relationship with my parents. The greatest thing Attention Homes has been able to provide for me is a support system. They believed in me when I didn't. They pushed and encouraged me when I wanted to give up and break down. I've met countless teens like myself who have suffered so much in their young lives, but have found hope and have renewed faith in themselves after coming across this incredible, incredible organization. The greatest value I have taken away from my experience with homelessness is perseverance. Continuing in the course of action, even in the face of difficulty. At times I was very afraid of my situation. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to work through my problems, but I persevered. I set goals and I achieved them. I never wanted a handout. What I needed was a hand up, and that's what Attention Homes has given me. While staying at the Source, I've met a number of people, both staff and teens alike, who've made a lasting impact on my life. I've met teens like myself who have suffered similar adversities, but share the same optimism for the future. We all have hopes and dreams. Some of us were just dealt paths with a few more detours than others. And I don't know about you all, but I don't mind detours because when it's all said and done, it's just a fraction of this journey we call life. Now I've finished my second semester of college as I pursue my bachelor's degree in international business. I'm also a server at one of the premier restaurant destinations in Baltimore, Maryland. And it is my hope to one day have a career where I can make the same impact on others the way every staff member at the Source has made on mine. I believe today I am on the road to success, and I have Attention Homes to thank for helping steer me back on the right direction. If there's one thing I would like you all to take away from what I've said today, it is that we homeless youth are not hopeless. Too many times have I felt like the world has given up on me. But even in my darkest moments, I didn't let the negativity from around me extinguish the fire and desire I had within myself. I've watched others hurdle over obstacles they once thought impossible. Now they are living the full volume of their lives. They, like I, kept their heads up and kept the fire alive. So I stand before you today, a product of what this incredible organization is capable of doing with at-risk youth. If it weren't for the generous donations of so many people, Attention Homes wouldn't exist today, and I could very well still be sleeping on a bench outside of Hair Clips on Arapahoe on 28th, where I spent my first night homeless. So I urge you to donate and help this organization to continue to do the marvelous work of changing the lives of at-risk youth here in Boulder. And on behalf of all the teens who have stayed at the Source like myself, on behalf of the teens who stay there today, and on behalf of those who will use the Source in the future and utilize its resources, I thank you.